Welcome, dear listeners, to a brand new episode of Pulse of the Council, where we bring you closer to the heart of events and present the latest developments in Libya's economic, social, and institutional landscape, with a voice that truly reflects the pulse of the nation. Today's episode is titled, A Partnership for the Future, Higher Education on the Path of Reform.
In a step that highlights the importance of institutional cooperation, the Director General of the National Council for Economic and Social Development welcomed the Minister of the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research during an important meeting aimed at strengthening joint collaboration between the two sides. This was not merely a formal meeting, it carried a clear message. Reforming higher education and scientific research has become a national priority that can no longer be delayed.
One of the most significant aspects of the meeting was the discussion surrounding the Joint Committee for Higher Education and Scientific Research, which appears to be evolving into a serious platform for addressing the challenges facing universities and academic institutions across Libya. We are talking about major issues here: regulations in need of modernization, academic programs requiring development, and the ongoing challenge of aligning scientific research with labor market demands.
Exactly. And most importantly, the Director General of the Council emphasized the need for institutions to unite efforts in solving the ministry's challenges rather than merely identifying them. This reflects an important shift in approach, from simply managing crises to actively creating solutions.
Another key outcome of the meeting was the agreement to form a joint team between the ministry and the council to review and amend several regulations related to higher education and scientific research. This raises an important question. Have the current regulations become unable to keep pace with modern developments?
Perhaps so, because the world is changing rapidly. Today, universities are no longer just lecture halls and classrooms. They have become centers of innovation, hubs for knowledge production, and essential partners in economic development. That is why meaningful educational reform must begin with updated legislation and effective regulatory frameworks.
For his part, the minister praised the pivotal role played by the National Council for Economic and Social Development, particularly in policymaking and contributing to solutions for the crises facing the country. This recognition reflects the growing responsibility placed upon national institutions during this critical stage.
But let's speak honestly. Citizens today do not want meetings alone. They want tangible results. They want modern universities, a stable educational environment, scientific research that contributes to national development, and graduates capable of competing both locally and internationally.
And here, dear listeners, we would like to leave you with a few important questions. Do you believe Libya's higher education system requires comprehensive restructuring? What are the most pressing challenges facing students and faculty members today? Can scientific research become a real driver of Libya's economic progress? And what are your expectations from the newly formed joint team?
The encouraging thing about meetings like these is that they open the door to hope. When institutions unite around a common goal, meaningful change becomes possible. And perhaps the slogan of this stage should be, Stronger Education, a Better Future.
And with that, we come to the end of today's episode of Pulse of the Council. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to support us by sharing, commenting, and sending us your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. Your voice matters, and your participation makes a difference.
Join the conversation through our social media platforms and tell us, what issue would you like us to discuss in the next episode of Pulse of the Council?
Thank you for listening, and until we meet again in another episode of Pulse of the Council.